On Facebook recently, we've been seeing a girl called Greta, I think her name is, talk about how she's panicking, and she wants us all out as adults to panic about climate change and what we're doing to the earth. And I think me and you, Mike's behind the camera, have been panicking for quite a while now, and we've been in my head. Everything I do is about thinking about how we can make good use, healthy use and efficient use of the resources that we've got, which include people, humanity, how they behave and how they share every single thing we do, what we put in our mouths, how we grow our food. And so over the years I have been writing books and songs to try and illustrate how we've been doing it. And let's start over here, because I think this was the first one we did, Mike. The People's Imaginative Revolution. So that's 40 years ago, I think. And I want to talk about that for a while, because I was there during the revolution, and it did change my life, because I realised that it was reasonably peaceful at the time. It was psychological, because the sounds that were coming to us were from the mosques, and they were saying God is good in the quiet parts. And a strike is what worked, because there was a general strike. Nothing happened. So it was sharing resources, and by stopping resources and getting right to the bottom, not knowing what we were going to eat, even though we had food, that made things change. Protesting Songs is a book that we have written together, and in there are lots of suggestions about how we can change. Secret Gardens. That's about having visions, that if we all have visions together, can it work? Yes, I think it can. And this is some of the visions we did locally, how we have to preserve our natural resources even in Odsal, and what's this? Oh, Mercury. I was just talking about this morning. This is about looking after your teeth, because mercury is a poison that has been planted in our heads over the last few years, and we need to look after our teeth so that we won't. This is a book we wrote together again about living in sharing and living together. Now, we live in Odsal, and a lot of the families share their resources and look after each other. And my impression is that there aren't many lonely people living around me that I know of. And I'm certainly not lonely, because I've got a front garden where I share my fruit and veg. But this is where we had a community house years ago, and we shared childcare together, and we still have firm friends from those examples. And I think this is the latest one that we didn't write, but was written by the people in Odsal. We had formed a texting circle with like-minded people who wanted to share their views and opinions, but it's all anonymous. And I was reading out this last week on community radio, Salford City Radio, all about the murder that happened in Odsal on Christmas Day, and how, can't find where it is now, and how the effects of it were that the people of Odsal came together in a vigil, and the murderer's mother came over and agreed that it was only a very small percentage of people in the country, in Odsal, and that they were very sorry about what happened and they never wanted it to happen again. And as far as I know, it hasn't. So that's it. So working together, sharing, growing things that are good for the environment. We're all trying to do it, and we can all do it in our own small ways if we think about absolutely everything we do, including breathing. Thank you.